Do you know what controls the narrative regarding a sports disaster? Whether you ended up winning the game or not. Even with all the boneheaded plays or amazingly dumb things athletes can do on a field, winning erases all of that. Here are 5 in-game disasters you might have forgotten about because the team still somehow won, coming up right after this. Number 5, the forgotten circus catch. What do you remember about Super Bowl 49? Not giving the ball to Marshawn, right? But do you happen to recall what happened 2 plays before that shit show? In what was a ridiculous, acrobatic, and unbelievable David Tyree-esque catch, Jermaine Kearse hauled in a 33-yard gain that Seahawks bandwagoners would still be talking about today had Pete Carroll not elected to pass the ball 2 downs later. What I remember very clearly from this play was how right after Chris Collinsworth kept prattling on about the catch, and as they reviewed it, they showed the Tyree incident over and over again, seemingly putting the nail in the coffin on the Pats. Of course, Malcolm Butler saved Tom Brady's legacy, and the Pats got lucky 2 years later in almost the exact same manner. Easy, Pats haters, don't click off this video yet. Number 4, 1994 Eastern Conference Finals. Val Rangers were the biggest chokers on earth. Number 3, 2002 Indiana versus Duke. Do you know what people love? Seeing Duke lose in the NCAA tournament. And early. And that's what looked like was going to happen when Indiana University, led by first-year coach Mike Davis, had his team up 2 with 11.1 seconds left. After they tried really hard to give Duke the ball, AJ Foy got fouled and was sent to the line. He hit both free throws, and it looked like the game was over. Only it wasn't, as Duke guard Jay Williams chucked up a three-pointer with 4.2 seconds left and hit it, and got fouled. And Mike Davis did his best LeBron imitation as he asked why God had such a thing for Duke and that rat-faced coach on the other sideline. But you know, the basketball gods have a sense of humor, as Jay Williams missed the free throw and Indiana still ended up winning the game. Haha, Duke, for once. Number 2, the Cubs try to be the Cubs. Joe Madden, World Series champion, despite himself. After his incredibly talented team that GM wonderkid Theo Epstein assembled crawled back from a 3-1 hole against the Cleveland Indians, Joe Madden tried his darndest to give Game 7 away. Rolling along with a 3-run lead and seemingly in control, Madden did the unthinkable in the 8th inning. He brought out exhausted and overused Aroldis Chapman into the game for a 5-out save. Chapman had already been used 1.1 innings in a non-save situation in Game 2, and 3 days earlier he pitched 2.2 innings to hold down the save to force Game 6, and he looked tired doing it. And out come Chapman, much to the chagrin of fans in the entire world, as everyone on earth that wasn't an Indians fan didn't like what they were seeing. He immediately gave up a double to Brandon Guyer, and after laboring through an at-bat to Rajai Davis, he did the unthinkable, giving up a 2-run jack and letting the Indians tie the game. I mean, a toddler could have known it was not time to bring in Chapman, but Madden did it anyway. With no other choice, Chapman did pitch a scoreless 9th, and the Cubs scored twice in the 10th, and then Madden once again changed pitchers, with Carl Edwards giving up a single to guess who, Rajai Davis, who made it close once again. Of course, Mike Montgomery got the next out, and now Steve Bartman's sins have been forgiven, despite Joe Madden wanting to keep the memes intact. Number 1, 2015 AFC Championship game. Though we all know he won 2 Super Bowls, had the dankest commercials, and probably some of the best SNL appearances of any QB besides Joe Montana, Peyton Manning's legacy really came down to one play. Well, a couple. Down 8 points with 1:31 to go in the 2015 AFC Championship game, Tom Brady converted on a ridiculous 4th and 10 play to put the Patriots deep into Bronco territory. Pressured all day, FYTB seemed to finally find that magic in his arm. About a minute later, with 14 seconds left, facing another 4th down, Brady found Gronk again for a huge TD, setting up the drama that would determine if Peyton would have to eat Thanksgiving dinner and look over at Eli's 2 rings while he only had 1. Of course, the Pats had to cash in the 2-point conversion, and unfortunately for Belichick, he couldn't call some obscure dropkick play, and the ball was intercepted, and a Titanic-level disaster was avoided because defense wins championships. Because it certainly wasn't offense that year. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe all the way with the notifications, and make sure you hit always, because you are not in a mind control experiment and YouTube is not your overlord. Also, please download the FanDuel app and use my code BASEHIT10 and get a 20% cash bonus on your first deposit. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.